And 2022 and 2023 tax assessment. 2022, we were at 88.2324. Right now, we're at 89.4084%.
Already got ahead.
We're ahead. Yes, sir. And that's all I know.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Rose. I appreciate it. We all do.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job. All right, Jay, what do you got here?
Okay, so I'm going to show you some photos on the excavation that's been going on these two contracts for the Riverside and the Franklin Canal. So this is right up at the heading, so this is where we started by little Delta and First Street, at the heading in front, and then
Did you talk up a little, Jay? I can barely hear you.
Sure, Johnny. So this is at the heading of the Franklin Canal over by Bowie High School, off the American. So this is where we started. That section that you see up there is the concrete lining.
Wow.
So we started winding it to about a 14-foot bottom.
Is that a sand bottom or is it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's all sand.
It's
Yes,
all sand. There's no concrete under
Well,
there.
there's a 200-foot section.
yes, from the heading off the American Canal, we had concrete line about 200 feet downstream, and then we started immediately downstream from there. So
Concrete starts where that, at the end of that picture?
right where that, yes, up there at the
Oh, the
bridge.
bridge.
Yes,
Okay.
that's so behind that bridge is the American Canal and the border fence. So we're looking upstream here.
So just, sorry, David.
Sure.
In this picture, you're gonna see at bridges and culverts that the sediment's not being removed. Because we weren't gonna pay our contractor to remove sediment that needs to be removed by the city or the railroad or TxDOT. So they came in after these pictures were taken.
But they did remove the sediment.
They're working on it.
I think, are we good? Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
All three of those have.
yes, also text them.
Pete made contact, and so we've got 11 street crossings from the heading to Alameda, the roundabout by Fox Plaza, and I think they're up to 54. So Topia, San Marcial, and Estrella, all those, the city's done a great job, and then TxDOT as well. They're working on Paisano, I believe, and they're going
working on Paisano right now.
54. So yes, they've all engaged, and they've been cooperative, and obviously seen how much, once it was dug out, it seemed the 3 to 4 foot difference that they need to come in. So they've been cooperating, which is great.
When's the last time this was done?
Long time ago.
10 years ago. Ray, you were doing the first jobs.
Oh yeah, 2010, 14.
I remember we had trouble with the
14.
railroad mainly, wasn't it, in those days?
Yeah, we've done spot places, right, Pete, where we've had
Yeah.
restrictions, but to have this magnitude of cleaning on the Franklin, I think it's 2014.
Right.
Oh, that's great.
Was the last time, was it contracted out, or did we?
No, Pete.
No, we did
We
it.
did it.
We did it.
We did it.
Just working better for you, Pete?
Oh, yes.
Good man.
As you can see here.
It frees me up on a lot of those things.
Yes.
That's the railroad
Yeah,
right
Pete's
there.
Pete's gonna have a few slides for the work that, since we shut down, it was December and January and February, so he'll have quite a few slides as well on our internal project, which has been very successful as well. So this is a railroad right at San Antonio Street here to your right on the screen, and they've cleaned the box culverts that are up here, and they're mobilizing on this next week. They had mentioned, they sent an email that it wasn't theirs, and I thought, oh, it's a damn it's a railroad, so yeah, we have the contract, so they're getting on there.
Well, that's good to know, so send me that email when I negotiate for that fee on that.
Yes.
We'll just claim the whole thing since it's not theirs.
Yeah, I know, exactly. I said, well, we don't need the tracks. I said, we'll cut them off. Yeah.
Did you say, Jay, that the city of El Paso and the railroad did their due diligence before we got in here?
No, they
Or-
didn't.
We have, so my
After-
question is, how can that happen after the fact? So,
Well, that's how it should.
how do we work around that?
So,
Go ahead.
You know, you would think that they would clean and then we would dredge.
No, it's the other
But
way
that's not the way
around.
it works. We dredge, we clean for them,
No, no.
and then we,
No, don't
how do we
clean for it.
quantify what's theirs?
So,
what's
so
the
there,
railroad?
that picture shows exactly, so we didn't clean any of their stuff under the bridge. Not at all.
But as far as like the cleaning of the trash and stuff like that.
They
is the city-
came, then they'd come in since this picture was taken
Uh-huh.
and cleaned all that sediment out and all the trash that's in there on their expense. And they didn't leave it in our canal, they took it out, we inspected it, we had a person there, Pete was involved.
Everything's
He did a
all
great job.
So you're able to coordinate all this, because I'd hate for us to be doing
No.
everybody else's work and then they come back and, oh.
No, in
let's do
fact,
all
with the
this
city,
stuff.
what I did, it was almost, they were doing it at the same time, but I started the city over by Copia, and I was working them in the opposite direction. That way, they're not in each other's way.
So there was collaboration, there was
Yes.
cooperation,
Yes,
because that hasn't always been the case. It's always been like pulling teeth, especially the railroad. So
yes,
everything kind of lined up and everybody was cooperating because it was
right,
fine.
yes.
That's off to you guys, that's awesome.
as you can see, here, there's like a foot, maybe 2 foot of clearance, so in order, that's where the entire canal was, upstream here, so them coming in here, they're gonna have to dig in and then reverse back up to the top of the channel, so we cleaned all this and put it at design grade, and then that makes it a little simpler for them to come in and just excavate
Right.
underneath.
Now, my next question is, and I'm sure you guys are already thinking about this, in the event that we have the waters, whenever it's released in March or so forth, and that's not dredged, we can basically quantify that and say, okay, we're gonna do it for you, you're gonna charge it. Is that something that we?
It'll be, we're making, right now, we're enforcing, yeah, well, if it's not, Pete, we, in all the contracts, we have a clause that allows Pete to go
Right.
in and clean it,
And then we invoice.
and then we invoice him.
And it's very defined, so we know exactly what it is, if they don't do it.
They're all clean.
Yes.
And as they told you, they're actively working on the ones that aren't, so it's, we've been, this project's been really successful.
Yeah,
So
it has, and, you know, obviously, so our section upstream and downstream was clean completely, so, you know, they could see the adverse effect that that's gonna have on our deliveries. And
That's perfect, that's perfect.
Flowing the water.
That's why we wanna do ours.
So they engaged, you know, when it's silted up and our entire channel is the same as the bridge, they're like, well, you know, you
It
clean up,
becomes pretty obvious.
you
It
clean up
becomes-
yours first, which we did, so.
All of a sudden, they're exposed.
Yeah,
Right, yeah, they can see. And really, that is an issue, so, I mean, it's made, I think that's why we have a lot more cooperation, right? Because they can see,
Yeah.
physically see what they need to do.
And
All
this-
these pictures are Franklin?
Yeah, this is all Franklin right now, yeah, as you can see here, we've got a 2 to 3 foot depth, which significantly reduces the capacity, in our channel, in our canal to deliver the water, so, after the fact, you know, look at the difference, I mean, we're having doubling,
That's huge, yeah.
yeah, so. It's been great.
There's,
Wow. Where are those apartments at?
They're right off of, Paisano,
By Bowie?
aren't they
right downstream from Bowie High School. That is a nice complex, they just built them, they're HUD, yes,
The Housing Authority.
yeah, they're housing authority. Yeah, really good.
Wow, yeah.
putting the small boats there, and they really worked out well.
So this is the railroad here, these are culverts upstream, so they went in and cleaned the first barrel and then the second barrel as well, so, and now the path is clear for them to come in and haul it all off. They're like, hey, can we just leave it there?
No.
Do you see our trucks eating anything there? So they cooperated.
Nice try.
Yeah.
This is at, Piedras, I believe, look at this.
Wow, that's terrible.
So, yep, yeah, Robert's gonna be happy camper. He's a happy camper.
How would you want
The
to?
farmer's gonna be happy camper.
We're gonna do all that efficient water.
He only,
Figure it out.
Pushed it to-
well, yeah, it's like a train, if you get it going fast enough, it'll.
You'll be able to sleep better at night.
Yes.
We did calculate that it's, at its normal diversion, that the first 24 hours it would just be taken up now, filling up the canal. It's still gonna hit a restriction because the checks, that's what they do, they check it up, so.
Where did
Got a lot
they
more
take,
storage.
where did they take all the Sand.
It's the contractors, their responsibility, so they found another site or a disposal site or another project to mix the sand with, so yeah.
It's all on them.
they
Yeah,
took it
there's
off.
3,000 truck tickets and they went all over the place.
Wow.
That's-
Huh.
You can, if you wanna look at them and see, they usually just have a couple of words as far as the place that it was taken to.
So yes, all of this is at Boone, from 54 to Boone Street, right before the zoo. So we stopped there at Boone, and we jumped over to Washington Street. We skipped the entire area next to the zoo for various reasons, and honestly.
Well, we got a little bit of it there.
Yeah, we did get a little small portion, but around the zoo itself with the animals, and we wanted to expedite it and move over, we're gonna need.
It wasn't part of the bid.
It was not, we hadn't removed it, but, yeah, so we need coordination, we didn't let them know, we were anticipating stopping 54, so
So
these guys,
the yard per foot estimate, without any topographic data, was, just from our field measurements, was 3 yards per foot, and it turned out to be 2.5. So we got extra performance, linear performance out of the contract, and we're able to do spots we hadn't anticipated.
Very good.
And Jay's gonna talk to you about the possibility of it. We have under Texas law, we have the ability, it's your board's call, 100% board, that if they keep the price the same per yard, that we can increase the amount of yards as long as it doesn't go over 25% of the original purchase bid. So we could go up by about, Jay will have those numbers for you.
yes,
Okay.
I have those numbers and the halt, the cubic yardage and whatnot. So we're at, right here, we're downstream from, this is Paisano. Yes, we're right at Paisano here, so we leaped over down to Paisano, and we went downstream, cleaned down El Paso Drive.
Famous El Paso Drive where the gophers live.
Yes, so we cleaned all that up, and it helped compact our banks as well, so it was a twofer here, so yeah, here's Fox Plaza and Glenwood. So we finished up to Aubrey, and then, we came back, and we started them at Washington, right after the zoo. And that's essentially where we're at right now.
We don't have enough to finish it though, right?
So we don't have enough,
We
yes.
stopped one, we're gonna stop one.
But this is a Father Yermo here, that, right next to Paisano and Capacity, and yeah, it's.
So wherever we stop, that's where rubber's gonna have the fun plug, right? Starting right there.
We did a transition at Aubrey, a little bit upstream.
Transition at Auburn, okay.
Upstream, and so we're past Fox Plaza, past Glenwood.
So you're past all that rail.
Yes, so
That's the spot.
we've got additional, yeah, down there it opens up a little bit, so, and, you know, there's some potential for next year, obviously, and down Fresno, we had talked, Robert had talked to us about it, but, as of now, so right now, we need, we stopped at, we're basically at Tobin, in front of Jefferson High School, and,
So that's the railroad there, so.
yeah, that's the railroad.
Just so Miguel can see, that's, go back, sorry.
So wait,
Yeah, you
That's,
see,
see now, that's, we had seen that earlier with all the dirt, and this is where it is
Oh, wow.
today. The railroad got on there pretty quick, didn't they?
Yes.
Well, what's the big difference? All of a sudden they see the light, the railroad's cooperating?
Hey Perry, they change maintenance guys
they
every
got
year.
new, yeah,
People from Omaha? or whatever?
UP.
Yeah, the new kid that's here he's pretty good.
Good guy?
Yeah.
I remember you always pulling teeth, they're
Right.
like, they're
Yes.
cooperating and.
They got new leadership, and a lot of folks were given incentives, I guess, retire and whatnot,
That's good.
and then a lot of folks left. And the new guy that's been here he's been real cooperative. The phone calls from myself,
Good.
and he,
Good to hear.
Let's send them a thank you note.
but yeah.
No, they might get a little bit too,
Yeah.
coming out.
Then it was about to
I sent
pay.
them a bill. They still haven't paid, we're still disputing who owns those.
A little ribbon on her son. Thank you.
So that's where we're at on the Franklin. We're right in front of Jefferson High School. We stopped last week there, and so let me show you the Riverside, or we're talking about Franklin, let's just.
See, let's
discuss
get
it.
finish it. Yeah, I'm not good. Is that resolution on for Franklin, since they're on?
yeah.
Yes, yes.
It's, item B on this agenda, yeah.
So we're at, we tracked the tickets, and obviously, the two surfaces from existing to proposed. They've been flying in with a drone, and we've been tracking the cubic yardage in that regard. So we can track it with the drone and the AutoCAD, and then we can track it with the tickets, and they coincide, so it's been great. So we're at the contract. The original PO was for $750,000, what the board had approved, and for 30,000 cubic yards. Dr. Blair and I spoke to Bain, and we lack from Jefferson High School to Paisano. So that's to the Fox Plaza roundabout, and then we have a small section by medical school from Alameda to Paisano. And Bain flew it, and it's approximately about 6,000 to 7,000 cubic yards. So with the statute that we had, Dr. Blair was mentioning earlier, we can increase up to 25% with the board's approval, which gives us basically an addition. It'll raise it from 750,000 to 937,000, and as far as 7,500 cubic yards additional. So
$200,000.
it's, yes, 900.
We anticipate right now, let me back up a little bit, Dave, is that right?
Sure.
He's showing some of it up there. So, on both projects, we have extensive topographic information, so three verifications of the yardage. We have the drones, one's alive, the one's photometric, stereoscopic elevations. They're both pretty accurate. We have our those are accompanied with, you might have seen in some of the photographs, there's some targets, the target elevations and our profiles. And then we have, so that gives us a good estimate of before and after, except at the bridges. We can't see the bridges. We don't have to worry about those, not part of it. And then we also have the truck tickets, and they're 10-yard trucks, and they've been running between 8 and 9.5 yards per truck. We can know if that makes sense. They're not always all the way full, especially after rain, because of the weight. And so it's matched up really well. And then we send our David out to take spot elevations with our GPS system, and they all match. So we all come up with the same estimates. So that's good. So we're doing that for both jobs. So we think this job we're asking you to go up. We can't guarantee it, but it looks like we're going to come in under on the riverside. We're just not going to have enough time.